Hello, my name is DEWI and I'll be presenting on a paper that is still in the preliminary stages of study and is titled Academics and Digital Technologies. I will begin today's presentation with a quick overview of the abstract, followed by the introduction to the current situation facing the education sector, then a brief overview of relevant literature on common barriers faced by academics in private and public educational establishments in the pursuit of digital technologies for teaching and learning, followed by a statement of the purpose of the study. Finally, a quick overview will be done on the methodology that will be used for this study. As can be seen from the abstract, the purpose of this study is to examine the impact of the use of digital technologies, particularly on academics from international branch campuses that we know are quite different from local private and public educational institutions. These international branch campuses benefit from shared resources and support that is made available from the main campus. An interesting question is, do academics from international branch campuses invest as much time, energy, and mental effort on the application of digital technologies as compared to their counterparts in local public and private institutions of education, considering the different situation that they are in? So let's begin with a brief overview of the current situation of the education sector in Malaysia. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought with it numerous challenges to the education sector in Malaysia. One of them being the necessity of lockdowns that has resulted in the closure of schools and universities. This forced most educational establishments to adopt alternatives to face-to-face teaching, that is, to move to online learning and teaching. To do this, educational establishments have to provide adequate resources to expand their infrastructure by providing suitable e-learning platforms, equipment, support to teachers in using online tools and technologies. Because of the sudden onset of the pandemic, some educational institutions were unprepared. Others were proactive and had contingency online learning tools and platforms at hand, or were already embracing technology-enhanced learning way before the current pandemic. The push to online learning and teaching had, in some cases, increased the time, effort, and mental stress among lecturers who had to migrate to online learning and teaching immediately. The anxiety, panic, and stress among lecturers has flagged the importance of support from educational establishments, but do academics receiving the necessary support have a positive mental attitude to work? The challenges most frequently referred to in the listed literature in the Malaysian context pre-pandemic was the lack of time because of existing workload, lack of technological support, lack of ICT skills, and lack of training provided by educational institutions that made it difficult for academics to adopt digital technologies in learning and teaching. There was, however, limited research from 2020 onwards, which was a shame since this was when digital technologies became indispensable among higher educational institutions because of COVID-19. Most research also concentrated on stress among academics due to increased workload, mostly due to research and not on the use of digital technologies. Almost all the literature has been on academics from public and private schools, colleges, and universities, and not on academics from international branch campuses. The past findings from these literatures show that academics and teachers need support to incorporate technology effectively into their teaching practices and methods in their quest to move towards online teaching and learning, that is, supporting teachers' training in the use of digital technologies to ensuring that digital technologies is leveraged effectively. A brief look at the cooperative structure of international branch campuses will be covered in this slide to identify the difference between international branch campuses and local institutions. The cooperative structure of international branch campuses is one of the factors that gives them the competitive advantage. These universities can share their know-how, best practices with regards to online teaching and learning, borderless systems, sharing of infrastructure, for example, their e-learn platforms and educational products with their branch campuses. For example, in HERIOT-WATT University, the materials and support provided by the HERIOT-WATT Learning and Teaching Academy based in Edinburgh provides academics from all three campuses materials, guides, a forum of technicians for their staff. The purpose of this study, therefore, is to explore how the adoption of digital technologies among academics from international branch campuses in Malaysia compared to that of local public and private educational institutions will impact the time and energy expended and the frame of mind of academics, especially in the current environment. An online survey using Qualtrics, capturing quantitative data aimed at 200 academics from international branch campuses, will be used. Questionnaires will contain questions regarding the use of digital technologies and personal resources vested by academics and the types and level of support provided by universities. Data collected will be analyzed using IBM SPSS statistics and AMOS software. This study will draw on the concepts related to the socio-technical theory that suggests that what is needed is a fit between the technical subsystem, in this case the use of digital technologies, and the social subsystem, that is the academic, their knowledge, attitude that they bring to the work environment. It is thus important to understand and recognize the interdependence of these subsystems to ensure that they are working in harmony. The findings should help management of branch campuses and main campuses to understand how the use of digital technologies and support provided impacts academics, especially in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The next slide will have the list of references used for this presentation. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Bye.